Brad,
Good afternoon.
I don't know how
Brother
I feel.
Dan.
Did we just get married, Brad? What just
We are
happened?
like family. No, I prefer to think we're brothers, not married. Now, come on.
Well, you know, in today's world, it's hard to tell now. Okay.
You both got married.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while. As you can see, it's almost as if I'm a little bit inebriated. I'm not. But I always like to have my funny hat on. And what I like to do is always, I mean, I have a secret of how I do this. I like to surprise Brad at the Q&A demos. And what I usually like to do is I say, guys, you're going to hear some stuff. It's going to blow your mind. Okay. If you're not using what I'm going to show you today, after I prove to you, I mean, it's going to be two things, Brad. Either people think I have a time machine, which, you know, I'm not saying I don't necessarily, or you're going to realize that, holy shit, it's that good. And there's no way he could have faked it. Brad has no idea what I'm talking
I am
about.
just sitting here waiting like everybody else.
What I'd like to know is, Brad, how was I able to do this in between our conferences that we had?
I don't know, but I think that's the beauty of it.
It is the beauty of it. All right, before we jump into some high level matrix glitching, let's first get down with the basics of the fact that, of course, our disclaimer, where did it go? Brad, what happened?
We are not a registered investment
Yeah,
advisor.
we're not a registered investment advisor. I usually like to read off the chart, but we are for educational and informational purposes only. Maybe the best informational and educational purposes you have ever imagined in your life after what you're about to see. But of course, none of this information is investment advice or solicitation to buy or sell any securities from myself, Brad, Scott, or anyone else at Trade Ideas. Brad, are you okay?
And Theo will not give advice today.
No advice from Theo. He is our mascot. Very bullish. Okay, here we go. Are you guys ready? Let's do this. Obviously, many of you have seen this slide before. We're the kick-ass company that's using your subscriptions dollars to fund our research and development and continue to work on this product. We work with you. You are a venture capitalist, but we've done this without any real venture capitalists, which makes it possible for us to be cool still and not to comply with the very strange things that happen in that space. We're made in the USA. We have a US-based development team, and we've done something unusual, which is we've been on the Inc. 5000 now 5 years in a row, meaning we compete with ourselves. That's how good we are. Okay, now that the formalities have done, and some of you, by the way, if you are here from a test drive, I know like Mike is sitting there, Mike sees smiling, he's like, man, that guy Dan, he's so good. How does he do it? But what about the new people? If you're new from the test drive, let us know in the question and answers. Always want to see the new guys. You know, I know our staples here, but are you guys, by the way, Mike, you're going to be blown away too. And David and Jacques. You ready, Brad?
Let's rock and roll.
All right. I only need to go to the first slide. So
One slide presentation. All right.
Yeah, guys, please. So what you're seeing here is nothing exciting, really. I mean, in terms of what we say, because we are revolutionaries in the game of momentum detection and follow through. Oh, yes, 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 we are. And this view, called the race view, is the view that you must be watching if you want to have the elevated returns that I constantly showcase on Twitter. And to prove to you how slick and cool this stuff is, I want to ask a question. I want to hear a yes or no answer from people. Does anybody here, other than myself, of course, have access to real-time stock market data? I mean, Brad, I'm assuming you do, of course.
Well, you mean, are you talking about being a subscriber to Trade Ideas?
Or just, yeah, I mean, aside from being a subscriber, is it on? I don't know, maybe you're on your phone listening to this while you're driving home from work. That happens sometimes. I mean,
Oh, gotcha, right here and right now.
Yeah, right here, right now.
I gotcha.
All right. So, Brad, do me a favor. You know, we're going to Laurel and Hardy this presentation.
All right.
So we're showing you a race, and this is, I'm not going to get into what it is. We've already explained it. You must know what this is. This is a relative strength meter, but it shows you a different view because you're seeing everybody sort of competing against themselves. But Brad, holy shit.
Mm.
Okay.
Boy, this thing went up to $30, huh?
Oh, he figured it out all by himself. Now, guys, this
I'm a genius.
presentation slide was taken on 7/20. So, I mean, we were just going back in time about a month. So probably been that, I don't know how long it's been since I've done Q&A. Maybe we've done one sooner, but I do want to show you here. PGY is winning the race right here. And we snagged this picture to showcase to you. And on that presentation, I was probably saying stuff like this, exactly the same stuff I'm saying right now. This is the most important information you can ever be watching. And I'm proving it to you, DeLorean into the future. So Brad, where is PGY at this moment right now? Again, not
I mean,
knowing
with a $20 pullback, it's still at 12 bucks, 11.93.
with a $20 pullback, $20 pullback. Okay, Brad. You know what? Nice rookie shot. Way to go, kid. You know, I like it. Every rookie deserves a three-pointer sometimes, but come on. That's just luck. What about RYTM? That's right next to it right here, $12.94. Where could that possibly be?
Well, let me see. Looks like the last trade was 22.92,
What?
a
We're talking
double.
about almost 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys do something crazy and gave something so powerful, so potent to all of your subscribers, and everybody at like all the other subscribers are kind of like running around lost in a room in a corner? You know, like there's like these guys that if you ever played Doom or Quake, they'd be stuck in the corner running. That's what our competitors are doing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pounding the table and showing you, what if, just what if, all you did was like, well, the guy, I mean, the thing you showed us was PGY at 766. I wonder, I mean, the chart looked great. Both. Look, on the daily, Brad, on this day down, I mean, you look like you missed it.
Yeah, you sure do. And you look like you're getting in at a really overextended spot.
I mean, look how much you went up that day. Brad, sell that crap. Could not possibly follow through to.
Well, look, ultimately you can have the best information, but you still need to old school get in it. You need to make that decision to say, I'm going to participate.
But we're going to cover those bases, of course, in this Q&A presentation. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm very definitively telling you something, okay? And that is that we have the winning formula, not the thing that gives you, every stock here is not probably higher than it was. Brad, look at DNAY. I haven't looked at it, honestly. I mean, I'm just saying, it couldn't be that all of them are, could it?
No, I would say not. But DNAY is at 192, and where was the same price? So it's right, it's flat at that point.
Okay, what about BRLT? I mean, again, just for curiosity's sake.
740.
Okay, and LMFA?
$1.26.
That's a nice
A
percentage.
little bit. I don't think we've had a bull run since then.
Absolutely not. But that's the point, is that if you're listening to information from other sources, you're missing a gigantic picture of what I'm telling you guys here. Okay, we've broken it. This is like the browser in 1995. I had one, Brad. I don't know, you know, and we were trading at a brokerage, Brad. So we were on a T3 line. Do you know what it looked like to me? A browser right now was kind of fast. I mean, compared to like your AOL modem, but guys, traders, you know, nothing makes myself and Brad and Scott or anybody else that trade DS feel better than to know that you're succeeding and winning with us. I mean, you've seen the show I've been putting on Twitter, because I say the thing that you guys all must know. In the world of Vendorville is the place where all the vendors of FinTwit live. It's kingdom, Brad.
FinTwit.
FinTwit is the kingdom. And in the FinTwit kingdom, I am the only knight that trades using his own software. Brad's clapping. And what I'm saying by that is not really the only one. Brad does it too. QuantBot does it. Steve Gomez does it. All the executives trade not to be just only in the game, but if, let's say, Brad, for example, just example, you were a professional poker player. You with me?
Yep.
And you wanted to get to the World Series of Poker. How do you think you would get there? By
Well, I would practice. I would play a
practice
lot of poker.
and play a lot of poker. But you want to have an advantage, okay? So we're going to talk about it all here. We're giving you the data that's going to give you the best information. We're going to show you how to take advantage of it. Part of it is using practice mode so that when you get into stuff like this, so right here, the industry in the world has taught you to avoid this. Oh, guys, it's up 183%. Well, that's too much for you. Not for me, but for you, you know? And we don't buy that crap. There are phenomenal returns. And if you are name focused means you're focusing on the stock versus market focused. You're going to be able to participate in the types of moves that we are showing you. We are going to present to you where your attention should be held. Let's move on. I mean, we're going to run through reiterate a lot of this information, but let's talk about enhanced AI. Okay. So if I minimize this, which I'm not, I'm just gonna have Brad tell me. So Brad, how many trades today did the AI take?
Well, let me pull it up.
I like to see, do you see guys, I put Brad under the fire. He has no idea what's coming ever.
I don't know how the AI did, so we'll see. And all right, so we are here, and the AI today is coming in. It looks like all three modes, whether it was conservative, moderate, and aggressive, all were positive today. Not
That's
hugely
right.
positive, but
Not
positive.
hugely, but what about the percentage of the trades?
2%, 2.5%, and 0.5%.
But I mean, out of all the trades that were taken, how many were profitable?
How come I'm only looking at 2 trades? Were there more than 2 trades?
No, there were only 2 trades. Have you seen the market today? The AI did.
Yeah, they were
You know,
both profitable. The market was down.
So what you're trying to say is that on a day like today, which many people consider difficult, the software called the Trade Ideas Artificial Intelligence, named Holly, had 2 trades. They were both profitable, which makes a batting average of what, 100?
It's actually a batting average of 1,000.
1,000. This is where Brad and I argue.
He didn't play baseball, but you know.
I was terrible and that kind of stuff. But Holly batted 100, right? No, or is it 1,000?
She batted 1,000.
Batted 1,000. Dang it. Yes. So on a day like today, you have an AI that happened today have batted 1,000, which means it presented you with 2 ideas, an entry and an exit for both of these ideas. It looks something like what you see here, not this trade, of course. They were all profitable. And what this AI is, and many people misunderstand this, and I want to bring this to your attention right now. I want to disclaim it, disclose it, and say everything else. So many years, okay? So many customers coming through it. And the biggest flaw of the understanding of the AI is that people want this thing to be their magic gold egg making chicken. I want to just turn the Trade Ideas AI on and go play golf and not really think about risk management, and then come back home and see more money in my wallet. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not how things are done in the professional world. So the AI, of course, is doing immense analysis and trying to get you into great trades. And we actually just recently added a longer term AI mode, which we're going to show you and talk to you about it. But my point is that it's like having a golf trainer. But again, if you're a golfer or anything that you need to practice, and your teacher kind of takes over and does something, and then you try to imitate. You may not need to imitate it the exact same stock, but certainly the style, which is, Brad, does Holly ever take gigantic losses?
Well,
It's a,
no, Holly's, every one of her trades has a nice risk management stop in there. And by design, they're set so that they're not huge losses. But ultimately, you have to make sure that you're not sizing yourself in a way that makes that type of loss painful.
absolutely. But the point being here is that she, the AI, is the best mentor, guru, and teacher that you're going to have to teach you how to manage risk. And what you need to do in order to take advantage of trade ideas is put on risk. And the best way to do that, the best way to put on risk, and now I'm showing you my software, okay? The best way to put on risk is at first to be incredibly active in simulated trading, otherwise known as paper trading. Every single person who has lost money in the stock market has lost money for the same reason. They were not yet practiced enough. Now you have to obviously practice with real money is different than with simulated money, but however, so many of you have never even worked a portfolio. Worked a portfolio means like held positions. Here, Holly held 2 positions if you hold this overnight. Okay. And you need to understand how that works. What is it like to be in 1 position, 2 positions, feeling the P&L fluctuate? Look at this, the way the P&L went up today, okay? Kind of jagged all over the place. P&L behaves this way. Most people do not know what P&L behaves like. You must have an incredibly comfortable feeling for your P&L. Like your P&L almost has to become a relative or something that you're not even thinking about because you have this sense about it. Brad, I don't know how many times.
No, I mean, that's a good way to put it. And you know, another thing is just by looking at that P&L chart right there, it's something that you can't live and die by the tick. You have to realize that stocks breathe and your P&L breathes, and that means it goes up and it goes down, and it has some type of motion to it. So yeah, you can't live and die by the ticks, and every down move doesn't mean you need to be getting out. But having that visual to see, you know, from the beginning of the day how your P&L performed is critical. It's really important to have that understanding, and being able to visualize it in a graph form is very beneficial.
Which brings me to an addition to this premium subscription service. Brad, that's all already working, right? That long-term Holly AI is only in the premium subscription?
Yeah, that's working in the premium. You still need to have one of the later or the latest beta or the latest production version. So if you haven't upgraded recently, you won't have access to that functionality. You'll see the channel there, but you need to make sure that you're on a more recent version from our website.
So let me tell you what you're looking at here. This is the long-term Holly AI system that helps identify when you possibly may want to start paying attention to these stocks for longer term runs. Like for example here, Holly had a buy signal in June, right around, what price was that? Like 60 and a half. I don't know how I can't see that, I'm squinting. And it ran up all the way to 70, 10 points, but then it pulled back, came all the way back again, pulled back some more, really kind of had, you know, it was participating in the overall bear market, Brad, is what I would say. But then it started to turn around in August here from 57 and is now at 66. Again, these are, since you ultimately have to make decisions, one of the things that I'll show you that we do is we have these buy buttons, click to initiate buy, and I do this all the time. So I place my orders and poof, they appear. Brad, you see how I said that? Poof.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with your system.
There's always something during the seminar. Let me see if I can do it again. Okay, I think I'm doing it this time. I hope. Let's see what happens. If not, you guys all know the story. I'm always
You also
on.
may be out of buying power the way that you like to run that machine.
Right, but I'm always on some sort of version that I'm testing stuff for. But the point is that normally buy and sell signals appear. And see right here, you're sort of past this buy signal and it's telling you, hey, this thing might be in play again. And you know what it did? I was simply trying to see if it would have a pullback, Brad. So place an order on a pullback.
Oh, I see. Okay, so check it out. I see your order has appeared on the bottom snapshot chart from the Holly AI, long-term AI.
Oh yeah, there they are. Sorry,
That's not where they're supposed to be, but
maybe that's how it happened. That's okay. And move some stop losses. But do you see what I'm saying, guys? Again, I can delete this stuff, and these are all in the real one, it works the right way. But here's just an example. So there's that buy signal, and I'm trying to see if it'll come back. Okay. So you can scroll through these, you know, ELDN, just another one here. And this is a cheaper stock. I always like to play these. Let's see if that'll work again. I'm gonna put a buy order, but this time a little bit higher. And it did that. I don't know, Brad, did it do it at the right place? It seemed like it might have, yeah. Okay. And here I'm putting my stop in at 3. My opening order is at 4. I'm locked in. And here what you're doing is you're just simply going through and trading Holly's calls. And this is a pretty new piece of the software. And Brad, obviously you and I both know we have to clean some of this up, like get rid of the things that have been taken over, et cetera. But you can peruse longer term AI situations here. And if you, for some reason, missed something while watching it in real time. Okay. So let's go to this channel right here, which is your opening channel. I think many of you, if you've gotten the new version, you should be on this channel at first, unless you have your own layout, which again, is totally fine. But we've done a lot of modifications to the race window. Obviously, you guys all know you see the logos. Remember, what this allows you to do is see a percentage and relative volume competition between all these stocks that are meeting certain criteria, meaning they're moving in the direction we want, which is moving up. And some of them are not even stocks, they're ETFs, you know, or the bear, triple, and birds, whatever. You can always get rid of that. But my point is that everything that's moving in the direction you like, you are seeing. Okay, so remember when we were talking about that stock, I forgot it said PGY, I think it was, Brad, and it went up 100, yeah. Right, and it was up 183%. We're like, oh, that's too much. Well, this is the kind of move that we're finding over and over again, right? And we don't know if this is going to go to 7 or higher, but certainly this is where your attention ought to be. And one of the reasons is, Brad, look at the relative volume. So it's winning these races, not just willy-nilly, it's trading 196 times more than normal. Brad, would you say that's a
yeah, I mean, that's a huge catalyst. I mean, literally, when something's trading 2 times normal, it's something worth really taking notice of. When something is trading like that, it's just out of this world.
Yeah, and that's the kind of plays we bring to your attention. Versus, look at the bottom. What do we see here? Apple doing the 1%ers, nothing, and Tesla doing the 0.75%. People are always talking about Tesla and Apple and of course the spiders too. But Trade Ideas users kind of instinctually know that there's nothing interesting there because we have things like this, okay? NUWE. Now, once again, what are you going to do here? This is something that you have to learn for yourself, and no guru is going to teach you. Of course, the guru, me, is teaching you in a sense by giving you educational information to say the first thing to do is practice. So in simulation mode, you've got to start putting on these trades, okay? Just like this. So what I'm doing here is I'm saying, hey, if this starts to go back up again, I'm going to buy it, and I'll have a stop right here. This is my day in, day out. I do so much simulated practice trading It's very similar to how I play golf. I practice a lot, which I'm getting a lot better. I'm gonna smoke Brad tomorrow. Okay. He's not sleeping well at night tonight, I can assure you all. But the paradigm, the process is identical for playing good golf and trading, which is practice, practice, practice. The only reason why you're afraid to practice is because you have an addiction to FOMO. You want to get in the market with real money so bad because you FOMO that you're going to miss out on something that you don't know what it is. But there is no such thing.
It's such a natural human emotion, but you do have to fight it.
You have to fight it. And remember, right now we're looking at real data. This is not a replay. And things are always doing things. Okay. Here, this thing just popped. Okay. Barnes and Noble. That thing's been, you know, fairly hammered, but that's kind of, Brad, a big, what do you call it? Engulfing candle, right?
It's an elephant bar. It's a big elephant bar.
It's a big elephant bar. And again, your move here, right? If it really turns around and breaks out of here, you're going to see $4 come in very soon. Not a big float, 30 million. So what we're going to do is, once again, the simple process of having it place the trades there, like this, all on autopilot. Notice I made one click, counted to 3, and put the stop in.
Yeah, and it doesn't always have to be higher price. You know, you could have that at 219 or lower price if you wanted to. Just anywhere you want to put that order on the chart.
Right, and what I'm saying is, you know, if the momentum's still there, it'll clear through, and I'm not worried about this little area right here. And if I didn't believe in it, I could do something like this.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm constantly going back and forth. It's like teasing me there, and seeing what is it that I do or don't want. And see, Brad just made me do that example, and as a result, I bought it at market. Brad, that's another way you can buy at market. That's hidden for most people. Brad's shaking his head at me, looking, how did you do that, Dan? But now I'm in BNED right here, and here's my stop. In simulated mode, guys, market's closed. But that's the whole point, okay? But things are making moves. So here's Bed Bath & Beyond, had a terrible day today, right? But kind of since this point right here, pretty much stayed steady, you know, although it does look ugly, but it rebounded from here to 15 in a matter of days. So, and this is telling you something else. This is where the action is, okay? The real action, not here, because these don't move. Do you guys understand this? These do not move. The real action is in the race view. And I'm only saying here on one channel, I don't need to go, there's tons of different ways you can view it, but we have this one called explosive winners because there are explosive winners every day, no matter what the stock market's doing. If you focus on this one window and practice the heck out of it, out of these names right here. Okay, look at the, you know, again, look at the volume when it happened. You're talking about $10 swings. Why wouldn't you be trying stuff here? So how would you handle it, let's say? And here I am, I'm saying I'll believe it when it crosses this area. I'm not worried about this, and I have a stop below the lows, really below the lows. This is the path, guys. Notice there's no hesitation. I'm not worried about lines crossing this and shadows of that. You have to train your eyes. Your eyes are your guru. See, this one I had bought earlier. It's pulled back, but now what's it doing, Brad? It's heading back up. And not all of them are going to win, but you need to also see and understand how it is that you handle the ones that don't win. Are you able to keep this process going where you take your losses if you need to? See, this is the big move, right? Brad, if you're really trying, if it goes, really, it has insane potential, but you never know, of course. But that is why we're here. You know, we're here for these kinds of moves, Brad. The 1.77 points in a day, 30%. That's what you want to see. That's a 30% move in a day is unheard of in institutional world, which is why they spend inordinate amounts of time convincing you that A, you can't trade, they don't exist, and talking about some magical in the future time called the long term. Okay, the long term is only happens in the now. And you have to make the decision if you can understand that what we're trying to show you here is real momentum. And I already proved it to you with this. Okay, this was this move. We got into it like right here at 7, and it went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 days later, high of 31. It would pay all your subscription trade ideas fees for you, your entire family, and future families. You, Patrick, you should be able to externally link the TradeStation, but again, the external linking is a little bit.
Yeah, you can. It actually works. So send an email to info@trade-ideas.com and they'll shoot you some either an instructional video or a document that shows you how to do it. I think you need to launch both of those programs in administrative mode, but it does link.
Here's another one, just another example on how I process the information. See a 10% move on strong relative volume, but look at this turnaround potential, Brad, right? Wouldn't this be a great time, just in general, to be getting into something like this and managing risk because you're kind of at the lows? You know, just pull it down to 287.
A nice low risk opportunity.
Yeah. So how could you be watching anything else? How could you not follow this when what I'm showing you is simple? You trust your eyes and you practice with them, just like you trust different swings, you practice different swings on the range, you see what works, what doesn't, and what works for you. There's a great saying in golf, you have to play within yourself. Brad, what does that mean?
That means you just because you saw someone like Tiger do something, that doesn't mean you'll be able to do it. You have to know your game. You have to know what you're capable of and play within that realm, not try to do something that you're just not able to do.
Because if you make a mistake in golf, what happens like on those shots? One mistake can lead to what?
Well, I mean, it'll lead to a bogey or a double bogey or losing your ball.
But if you, for example, if you, I'll get into the weeds of it for a second, but hopefully everyone will relate. In golf, if you're trying to do a shot that you know that you may not be able to do, your ball may land in a place where you have to do what, Brad? Take another shot that's not really prime.
Yeah, so the errors compound themselves, I think.
The errors compound in golf. Where else do they compound, Brad? In trading.
The market. Oh, yeah.
The market. So I'm telling you all, this is the most important. I mean, you're already here. Okay, I love this. I shouldn't have to be pounding the table. I'm pumped for you guys. You are already here. You better be watching this. This is a game changer. We just released this a couple of months ago in this way. And by the way, it's about to blow your mind in 2 weeks when we update it because we've got something else behind the hood. But we are all right, show them, Brad. Let's switch and show. Let's give them a little taste.
Quick little here.
You guys are so lucky.
All right, so I am running a super alpha version of the software, but if you'll focus on the races, we've done something a little bit different. We've taken the same tech and everything that's the same about what we've done before, and we put it into a more robust programming language that really allows the graphics to shine and really move with a very smooth type of motion. Also, you're going to be able to see every tick moving up and moving back. It's just a more pleasurable way to see it. But so we're running 2 races right here, and this top race, I have it where I'm looking at the top 10 winners. So I can see that NTNX has won twice and CMRA has won twice, and these guys have won once. The one that I'm looking at down on the bottom is showing me each individual winner. So this particular BNED won the last race. And so you can see the action that it had right here. And then it also shows you what are the other symbols that came in second and came in third. But yeah, so we have this version right here that allows us to toggle between this interface that's going to allow us very quickly to migrate this to the web, to our web interface, as well as take this mobile. So yeah, this is really an advantage, not only from a visual perspective, but our ability to put it out on different platforms.
Very exciting stuff. This is the future. It's here. You have an advantage because you're our subscribers and you have access to this information now. Yeah, Brad, do me a favor. Do what you're doing with the setups real quick. I totally forgot about that because I was excited about being a time traveler.
Yeah, so we're in the process of continuing to enhance this product here, and we've taken this bottom portion here and we've added a few icons to it. We've allowed you to really quickly be able to adjust some filters if you want, some price filters and some volume filters. Of course, if you want to get into it and really open it up, you can do that just like you could before, but we're making it really easy to not only manage the race, but to launch it as well. So if you go to the new toolbar option here and you run the real-time stock race, you're also going to be presented with a variety of pre-configured stock races. So you can get them all from the channel bar if you want, but you can also launch them really quickly right from the application toolbar. So if you want to pull up, say, something like the meme stocks here, you can just launch that, and now you're going to have a race that's specifically focused on those meme stocks and have all of the race setup conditions properly managed in here. So for instance, when I show the race setup, you can see exactly how I have it configured, how many race lanes, how long is it running, what am I basing this on, change from the close. Delta value is kind of the unique secret sauce here that allows us to see the difference between when you start a race and how a stock moves from that point on. And then a couple other configuration settings here. So you can do that from the toolbar here. And then you can also go ahead and if you want to add a few symbols into the race that aren't possibly part of that top list that you're using, you can add those in as well. And like Dan was saying earlier, we like to show that just to indicate that some of these most popular stocks that people love to trade aren't really the stocks for the most part, and sometimes they are, but for the most part, they're not really the stocks that are putting on those percentage moves that allow you to really find like that PGY, those 100% moves that are happening in relatively short periods of time.
And that, by the way, what Brad said is literally the exact line to the advantage, right? Because did you ever hear about PGY on CNBC or Bloomberg or on Twitter? You probably saw it on Twitter because I think we posted it. But really, you wouldn't have because the people that run the things that they want you to hear don't want you to know about it. That's why we invented this. This is the equalizer. Imagine being able to never miss a move. That's kind of what I've always wanted, what I've thought about. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean I'm going to take advantage of it. That's the next step, but that's why I myself, as an example, I continue to practice all the time. And then when I feel comfortable, then I put the trades on in my 401k, which I show on Twitter as well. And of course, in an interactive brokerage account, which is kind of like, again, I have 3 trading accounts really. I have my simulated account where I'm just practicing the risk management, all this stuff, so that when I'm doing it on the real chart, it looks the same to me. You know, just like I almost can't tell the difference between simulated and non-simulated. I have to make sure to check. Then if I
Well, that's the idea, right? I mean, you want it to be very, very similar to what you're doing when you're putting a real trade on.
But Brad, then like if I'm kind of feeling comfortable with a move, what I'll do is I'll sometimes try it out on the smaller account with smaller size. And then if I feel like I'm catching them, then I'll find one and I'll put it on in the 401k, which is like bring up AVYA if you can real quick. I mean, that was AVYA, yeah. And by the way, very similar to the general thesis is that if you can catch a turn, you know, then you sometimes have incredible potential, just incredible potential. And that's what I'm trying to do here. And I loaded up incrementally and now have 7,000 shares at around like 120, 117, and it's at 154. And that's one of these things that could run and really feed a portfolio for a year potentially if it goes. I'm not saying that it will, but that's how you make the unusual exchanges. You catch the moves that run, and then you're no longer in a need to constantly trade them. Okay. All right, Brad, let's finish up shop. Do you have the presentation?
I don't. Can I throw it back to you?
Yeah, put it back to me.
Are you the super guru?
I am super guru, correct. I don't even know why you have to ask that question.
I didn't want to throw it over back to Barry or something, you know.
Okay. So I forgot to get rid of this, but symbol plus is the beautiful symbol that you guys have where you can add things to it. This is what it looks like. Lots of information. You have the change from the close and of course the last price all in the symbol field. Check that out. It's already in your default. It's already there. The test drive sale, Scott said, maybe I don't know if it's still going on or not. Maybe today's the last day, but first place, 15% off your first month or year off of Trade Ideas. And the sales code expires September 6th. Oh, it's all there written for me in English if I could read. But so again, just talking about being the firm that changed the way people invest. What an amazing opportunity. We think that's what we've done with the races. We're a subscription as a service company. Many of you already know that, but if you don't, we are. And please tell your friends all about it. This is roughly speaking how much we cost per day at the various levels. At the premium level, on the monthly, we cost around $7.50 a day and $6.20 a day at the annual level. And of course, for standard, see what it is. Very affordable. Our education is bar none, and it's getting better and better. We have all sorts of different venues and events for you to attend. So just visit us at trade-ideas.com/live. Barry, who, I don't know if Barry was he with us today, Brad?
I don't know, he's so quiet.
He's so quiet, our good buddy. Barry Anderson runs our Trade Ideas trading room. He's always showcasing the races, trading in just like I do. Different risk management, but same concept. Sees something winning race, gets in, risk management. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. You just have to practice that. But please visit us at trade-ideas.com/trading room, make a username, and you'll see a vast community of Trade Ideas users helping one another. You can trade real brokerage accounts with Trade Ideas. I do with Interactive Brokerage. Of course, you can use E-Trade as well. Interactive Brokerage, for more information, is IBKR, the end of /Trade Ideas, and E-Trade is our $0 commission. And of course, we are always there for all of your questions, anything you need. We're very active on social media, so please follow us on Twitter at Trade Ideas. We put amazing stuff on there in terms of percent returns, trades that we're putting on in real life, everything. So we do it all there. So Holly, Patrick, you know, every trade, long-term or short-term, happens during the day. Holly AI exits the trades, but the long-term AI follows the trades that are winning. So we only hold winning trades, as you can imagine. So as long as it's winning, it's in the long-term AI. And when it stops winning, it gets out of the long-term AI because of risk management. And if that trend reestablishes itself, it lets you know. And again, long-term happens after the day trade. Every trade starts as a day trade, meaning it happens during the day. You can't just decide if you're going to hold it for 3 years ahead of time. That's impossible. I mean, you couldn't have even done it with Microsoft or Dell or any of the stocks. I mean, it sounds like maybe simple, but it's impossible to do. It all has to do with the profit. If you are able to hold on via risk management, if you're not down a lot of money, you're good to go. If not, you have to adjust and shift. And our AI helps you to understand that and practice trading. And feedback helps you to understand that. So we thank everybody. Scott, I think that's it, and we're caught up in the questions. Thank you for attending our Q&A Wednesday webinar.
Yeah, sounds good. Everyone stay tuned for an update about a replay link in your email tomorrow. Thanks all.